In this lecture, we'll cover one of the basic aspects of Indian polity that pertains to dissolution of House. Dissolution. Dissolution word is used and often people say dissolution of parliament, but dissolution is only in respect of Lok Sabha, that is the lower house. The Council of States is not subject to dissolution, only Lok Sabha is subject to dissolution. Council of State, I repeat, is not subject to dissolution. That clarity should be there. And what does dissolution means? Dissolution basically brings an end to the life of the house, that is the Lok Sabha, and dissolution is automatic on the expiry of the term. If you look at Article 83, it says that Council of States is not subject to dissolution. Lok Sabha stands dissolved on expiry of 5 years, or in case the term has been extended under the emergency provisions. That is a different thing altogether. It can be extended by 1 year during imposition of emergency. So life can be extended up to 6 years, and that term cannot be beyond 6 months when the emergency ceases to operate. So after that period, the dissolution is automatic, but before that period also, the power to dissolve is given to the president. So we can say that Article 85 is the mother article as far as dissolution is concerned, because this article says that president can prorogue and prorogue either house. For prorogation, it is mentioned very clearly either house. That distinction should be seen. Prorogue either house means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha can be prorogued, and prorogation basically brings the session to an end, and the dissolution brings the life of that particular body, that is Lok Sabha, to an end, and dissolution is only in case of lower house. Now, similar provision is there in respect of the state government, which is there for the state legislature, that which is there in Article 174, where the power is with the governor. But can this power be exercised by president in his own discretion? This power has to be exercised by the president as per the terms of the constitution, and you have to refer to Article 74, which says that president shall act in accordance with the advice of the Council of Ministers. So this action, every action of president is based on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Of course, certain situations may emerge where the dissolution president may accept, may not accept. Suppose the leader of the government, that is the prime minister, recommends a dissolution when they have lost the confidence in Lok Sabha, then should the president accept that, or president should invite the other group which enjoys the majority to form the government? So these are quite complex and debatable issues. In fact, if you want further details, you can read the book on by Mr. A.G. Noorani, that is on constitutional questions. It broadly covers such difficult issues and which do not have very clear answer. Now, after having spoken about Article 85, which I say is the mother article because it basically talks about the power to dissolve, which is with the president. Of course, you have to read this along with Article 74, how president will exercise that power. Now, there are many other articles in the Constitution of India which mention the dissolution of House. It is not that only these two articles, that is Article 83 or 85, which mention the dissolution. Article 82, which talks about the readjustment of seats, also uses the word dissolution, which says that the readjustment shall not affect the readjustment of seat when done shall not affect the existing house till its dissolution. Then Article 107 also makes reference to the dissolution of the house. It basically says what happens to the bills which are pending with Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha when dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place. So if the bill is pending with Lok Sabha, then the bill lapses. If the bill is pending with Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by Lok Sabha, then it doesn't lapse. But if the bill is pending with Rajya Sabha and it has been passed by Lok Sabha, then that bill lapses. So Article 107 talks about dissolution, makes a reference about dissolution. Then Article 108, which deals with the joint sitting of the Parliament, also talks about dissolution. The word dissolution is mentioned there also, which says that if more than 6 months have elapsed after the bill is presented to one of the houses and it doesn't pass it after having been passed by the previous house, by the another house, and until that bill lapses, unless that bill lapses because of dissolution. So the word dissolution is mentioned in 108 also. It says unless the bill lapses because of dissolution, joint sitting will take place. Then within 108 again there is a mention that if the president has notified holding of a joint session for passage of a bill, and after that intent which is notified by the president, after that if dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place, then the the sitting will still take place. Then the mention of dissolution is also there in Article 240, which gives special power to the president for peace and good government of certain union territories. There it mentions that president will exercise this power also with respect to Puducherry. You know, for Puducherry there is a legislative assembly, but if there is a dissolution, so I'm just trying to cover the word dissolution which appears in the constitution various articles. It says if dissolution of Puducherry takes place, then president will exercise certain powers for peace and good government. Actually, these powers are for selective union territories. Puducherry gets covered only when the assembly is dissolved. Then there is a provision for dissolution of panchayats also. Article 243E deals with dissolution of panchayats. Then Article 352 mentions about dissolution. 352 is basically about the emergency provisions, and there is a provision, if you know, that it has to be passed within 1 month by both the houses of the parliament. But if within that period dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place, what happens? So it covers that contingency situation also. So I am saying the dissolution word is mentioned in 352. It is also mentioned in Article 356, which talks about president rule, which says that that has to be approved by both the houses of the parliament by resolution within 2 months. And what happens if Lok Sabha is dissolved within the period of 2 months? So that contingency is also covered. So likewise, there are articles in the constitution which very clearly mention about the word dissolution. So dissolution is a technical word, and it is well accepted in the constitutions, and it basically means that life of that house comes to an end. So that's just broad coverage of dissolution subject. Thank you.